झाला माझा संपला पाहिजे क्लास सुरू झाली पण मध्ये तिथं नको होतो व्हिडिओ चालू करून येडी का अशी पागल पोरगी मी तुझ्या खुर्चीवरती बसला टेबल पुस्तक घेऊन नाही बसायचं तुम्ही पण घराची सॅर करून दाखवली नाचते बघा चालू दिसलं ना होतं होते मला बघ जॉईन झाली वाटतं मी गुड आफ्टरनून टीचर गुड आफ्टरनून टीचर Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, teacher. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, teacher.
Good
morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning,
Yes,
teacher.
good morning, everyone.
teacher. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, everyone. Please mute yourself.
teacher.
Off your videos. Rename your name according to standard wise. Name, standard, roll number, that it is in correct order. Okay. Very good. Now our third chapter, that is diversity in living things and their classification. Now the lesson itself says that diversity. What does the diversity means? That there are different types of living things in the surrounding. Okay. So you can see there are different types of living things in the surrounding, in plants also and in animals also. Take an example of mango. Okay, mango in market, you have different varieties of mangoes in the market. Why this is? Because they are of same class but they are of different variety. Okay, mango, they are coming in one class, that is mango, but the variety of mango is different. Okay, that is they are varying, they are showing the variation. Okay, so in this lesson we are going to see diversity in living things and their classification. So how they are classified, who classified this, who put forth the classification of the living things, all these things we are going to see. Okay, Now, diversity in living things. Now, you all know that there are different types of plants in our surrounding. Okay, you can see that some small grass is also there, some tall trees are there, some trees are short, some trees are growing just on the ground only. So they are classified into different plants. Okay, they are classified into trees, shrubs, creepers, herbs. So these all things we are going to study in this lesson. Another thing, some plants are also classified according to the adaptation. For example, some plants are growing in water. For example, lotus. Some plants are growing in desert. For example, cactus. Okay, these all are of different varieties. They all are of different varieties. Okay, if they are of different varieties, they are habitual to the surrounding, they are habitual to the climate which they are facing in the surrounding. Okay, now when you're going with your mother in the shop, what happens, there are different types of rice, different types of wheat, so you have to choose one of the wheat or rice which you want. Okay, so at that time what happens, you see varieties of rice and wheat. Okay, they are of same class, but there are some different varieties, even in rose also. Yes, even in rose also, some rose are chini rose we say, some are red in color, some are yellow in color, some are pink in color, some are velvet color. Okay, so there are different varieties in rose hibiscus plants also. Okay, some plants are also having stems, leaves, while some plants do not have stems and leaves. So desert plants does not have leaves. Okay, all these things we have done in the previous chapter. Okay, so next slide, structure of plant. Okay, structure of plant. Now in this, what we have studied in the last chapter, that some plants are autotrophic plants. Now what is autotrophic? The plants which can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight in presence of chlorophyll, with the help of chlorophyll. The plants make their own food in sunlight. Okay, the plants make their own food in sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. So this process is called as photosynthesis, and such plants prepare their own food, they are called as autotrophic plants. This we have studied in the previous chapter also. Okay, this is the revision, and this lesson is connected to plants, so we again are connected, automatically connected to the second chapter. Now the heterotrophic plants. Now what are the heterotrophic plants? The plants which depends on other for food. They are depending for food for other plants. For example, fungus, lorianthus and dodder plants. These are the plants, they do not prepare their own food. They depend upon the other food, means they are having ready-made food from the other plants. Okay, this is called as heterotrophic plants. Now one more variety is there, that is insectivorous plants. Now what is insectivorous plants? These plants depend upon insects. They consume insects. They depend on insects, because whatever nutrients they are getting from soil, that is not sufficient for these plants. So they are in need of extra food. So what they do? They consume insects also. So these plants are called as insectivorous plants. Okay. Now, what is the plant structure? Now, the topic is structure of plants. Now, what is the plant structure? As you all know that the plant is divided into two parts. The part of the plant which grows above the soil is called stem. And the part of the plant which grows below the soil is called root. Okay. Now, as you all know, the plant consists of the main four parts, that is root, stem, leaves, flower and fruits. Okay. Then the fruits have seeds also. The seeds give rise to new plant. How does the new plants grow? The new plants grow with the help of seeds. Okay. They grow with the help of seeds. And where do the seeds we get from? We get it from fruits. Where do we get it from? We get it from fruits. Okay, this slide, I hope it is clear. So we will go for the next slide. Now you can see roots. Now roots are the most important thing in the plants. Okay, where does the root grow? The root grows below the soil. Now what is the main function of the root? The root holds the soil firmly and the anchor the plant. Anchor the plant means what? It protects the plant. It provides the food, water to the plant. Okay, so it is important. The main function of the root are to absorb and to transport water and nutrients from the soil. Okay, what is the main function of the root? It should transport water and nutrients from the soil. So whatever nutrients they are getting from the soil and water, that should be supplied to all the parts of the plant. That work is done by roots. Okay, now in case of carrot and radish, what you can see, these are the roots which are store food. Okay, we are eating carrot and radish. Okay, they're already store food. Okay, now in the side you can see the two types of root. There are two types of root. One is taproot and other is fibrous root. Now you can see the difference in the two roots. One is the main root. In that main root you can see primary and secondary roots growing there. Okay, this taproot is found in hibiscus, banyan like plants. Okay, now you can see fibrous root. What is the difference in both the roots? Here you can see bunch of thread like roots growing to the main root. Okay, to the main root you can see many bunch of thread like structure or hair like structures are growing in a bunch. That bunch, it is looking like a bunch. So this is called as fibrous root. What is fibrous root? They are thread like or hair like structure. That is called as fibrous root. Now where you can see this? You can see in the onion. Okay, when you see the root tip of the onion, you can see many small roots there. Okay, at home also you can take the onion and observe the onion. You will see many roots there. So onion is the example of the fibrous root. I hope till here it is clear. So in participant, will you give me a tick mark if it is clear? Yes, if it is clear, will you give me tick mark? Okay, very good students. Very good. I like your response. Now, classification of plants. Now, who did this classification? Carl Linnaeus was a scientist. Okay, he studied some plants and he thought that these plants should be classified into different things. Why? Because it was very difficult for him to understand that how to classify this plant, where to put this plant. All the plants were showing different varieties. So he decided that he should classify the plants. Now, according to his views, he tried to classify the plants. According to him, he classified the plants into trees, herbs, shrubs, creepers. So we will see now one by one how the classification was done according to him. Okay, the scientist Carl Linnaeus, he put forth the classification of the plants for us for our benefit, because we will classify the plants according to the very different ways. Okay, now the first classification, what it was? It is trees. Okay, according to him, he classified the first plants into trees. Now what are trees? You can see the picture of tree here. Okay, trees grow tall. How is the branch of the tree? It is hard and strong. Okay, the branches of the tree are above the height. You can see many branches. You can see fruits, flowers on the tree. Okay, now if a tree is tall, it is strong, it is growing flowers, it is growing fruits, that means it is called as a tree. Okay, so all these characters are followed by the plant, so that plant is called as tree. That plant is classified under trees. Okay, now trees are tall and big and they are perennial. What does the word perennial means? Perennial means they live for many years. For how many years? Many years. So there is one banyan tree in the Indian Botanical of so it is 250 years old. Okay, so trees can grow live for many years, so we cannot say how many years. No specific time limit is there. Okay, so you can see that the trees are tall, big and perennial. Perennial means they can live for many years. So according to Carl Linnaeus, this was the first classification of plants. Okay, now the second classification, what it is shrub. Now you can see the two plants. It is not grown as big as tree. The branches also not so much strong, you can see. Yes, and you can see the height. And you can see the height also is shorter. The branches are also close to the ground. Okay, branches are also close to the ground. They are shorter, smaller, but they are having hard stem. The stem is not strong, it is only hard. Okay, now which plants come under these shrubs? Rose, hibiscus, oleander, lantana, coreanthi. These are the shrubs that are coming in this group. Now, what is the height of this shrubs? This height is 2 to 3 meters. Okay, they does not grow as tall as trees. So this is the difference between the trees and shrubs. If any differentiation between will be asked, so you are supposed to describe it like this. I hope this topic is clear. So the next slide. The next slide, the classification, third type of classification, that is creepers. Now you can see pumpkin, watermelon, money plant. In our house we have seen money plant also. Okay, these are the plants which need support for growing. What they need? They need support for growing. Means what? They are not strong enough to stand. They need support. If you give the support of the grill for a money plant, so it will grow according to that way. Okay, the stem of the creeper is also very flexible and soft. Okay, if you break, it will break. It easily breaks. Flexible means it is easily breakable. Okay, it is very soft and green. And these plants need always support of the other plants, or they need a support. Okay, you can see the pictures here. Here is a pumpkin, watermelon. Okay. Now you can see the life cycle of the plant jawar and sunflower is only completely 1 year. Okay, means the farmer grows jawar and sunflower in his field. So that plant can grow only for 1 year. After 1 year, you can that plant life is only for 1 year. Okay, such types of plants are called as annual plants. What they are called? Annual. Annual means 1 year. Annual means 1 year. Annual means 1 year. Okay. The life cycle of the plants like carrot, beetroot is of 2 years. So they are called as biennial. Means the plant life whose life is for 2 years, they are called as biennials. Okay, they are called as biennials. The plant life, if it is having 1 year, it is called as annual plants. If it is having 2 years life, it is called as biennial. Okay. And if the plants are growing for several years, these plants are called as perennial. For example, mango tree. Okay. Example, mango tree. So in this slide, we studied that according to plants, plants are also classified according to annual, biennial, and perennial. Annual means having 1 year life, biennial means having 2 years life, and perennial means having several years life. Okay. Now, some plants are classified according to their habitat. What is habitat? Means the plants are classified according to the climate. For example, lotus. So, lotus is a plant which grows in water. Cactus. Cactus is a plant which grows in desert. So, the plants have different classification, different adaptation. Okay, they both have different adaptation. The lotus, even it is 24 hours in water, but it does not rot. Rots means sadta nahi hai wo plant. And in desert plants, the plant is getting very little water. Okay, and it does not bear leaves, it bears thorns. Okay, this is the difference between the plants which are in desert, and lotus is the example of the aquatic plant, and cactus is the example of the desert plants. Means these are the two plants living in two different habitat. Okay, now in this slide we are going to study that the plants bear flowers. Some plants are bearing flowers while some plants are not bearing flowers. Okay, so the plants which are bearing flowers are called as flowering plants, and the plants which are not bearing flowers, they are called as non-flowering plants. Okay, so non-flowering plants may not have the organs like roots, stems, leaves. Okay, for example, cactus plants, it does not have leaves. Okay, so and you cannot see the flowers also on the cactus plants. Okay, so again, what classification we have studied in the previous slide? The plants were classified according to their height. So trees, shrubs, herbs, and creepers. Then we studied they were also classified according to their life cycle. So according to life cycle, how they were classified? They were classified as annual, biennial, and perennial plants. Annual means 1 year life, biennial means 2 year life, and perennial means several years life. Now one more classification he put in front of us, that some plants are bearing flowers and some are not bearing flowers. So according to that, he classified the plants into flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Okay. Before starting the animals, we will I will ask you, are you having any doubt? If you are having any doubt, just put cross. And if you are not having any doubt, we will proceed with the animals. Here we have completed the plants. Shubham Raut, are you having any doubt? If you are having doubt, just raise your hand, because I am saying cross on your. Okay. Shubham Raut, 1 minute. I will unmute you. Okay, 1 minute, Shubham. I will come to your doubt. You're typing something in chat. Are you typing something in chat? You can please tell biennial and perennial. Okay. Biennial and perennial you have not understood. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay. Biennial and perennial means jawar and wheat. These two plants are classified. 1 minute. See, jawar and sunflower, these plants are life cycle is of 1 year only. Okay, so it is only of 1 year. So they are called as annual. And the plants which can have the life cycle for 2 years, they can live for 2 years. So they are called as biennial. And perennial means the plants which are living for several years. Okay. Now diversity and classification in animals. Okay. Different animals have different shapes to survive in the environment. Now see, environment in under the water is different. The animals which are living in snowy region, the adaptation is different there. Then the animals which are living in desert region, the adaptation is different there. Okay, so you can see that the different animals are having different adaptation according to the climate, because they are want to survive in that condition. So they have adapted themselves in such a way that they can survive in the environment. Okay, now the animals which are in the snowy region, what happens? They have thick fur, so they to prevent from cold. The animals which are in the desert region, they are also having thick skin. Why they are having thick skin? To prevent from the heat. Prevent from the heat. Okay. So now each has different characteristics. So every animal is having different characteristics. According to them, the body parts like head, neck, torso, tails, and limbs are also different. They have the various organ systems which carry the various function inside their body. Means the functions are also different in the different animals, and the organ system is also different in different animals. Okay, there is also very much diversity in the animals also. We have studied the diversities and classification in plants. Even in animals, we have the same thing, diversity and classification in animals. So what are the classification? Now we see varieties of animals in their food. Now some plants are different in adaptation. Now you can see here different animals. Okay, for example, tiger. Tiger is a carnivorous animal. It depends upon other animals for food. Okay, here you can see honeybee. It sucks nectar from the flower. For food, it develops a proboscis which injured in the flower, and it sucks the nectar from the flower. Okay, crab is having different adaptation of food. Fish, here you have different animals having different food. They are having their food different. All the animals are not feeding on the same type. All the animals are having depending on different types of food. Different animals, different methods of obtaining and eating food. The eating method is also different. Some insects suck the nectar. Some tear the animal and have the flesh, while some live on liquid. So there is difference in all the body structure. Okay. Then what is the chain bone in the center of our back paw? Now you all know that when we are touching our back, we can feel a bone, a straight bone in our back. What that bone is? That bone is called as vertebral column. Okay, when you touch your back, you can see from top, from neck to the hip portion. When you touch, you can see that there is a vertebral column present there. So animals with the vertebral column are called as vertebrates, and the animal in which vertebral column is absent, they are called as invertebrates. Okay, now what are the examples of vertebrate animals? Snakes, birds, fish, kangaroo, these all are having vertebral column. They all are having vertebral column. So they are classified under vertebrate animals. While the animals which do not have vertebral column, they are called as invertebrate animals. Okay, example of invertebrate animals are snail, cockroach, earthworm, etc. Okay, these are the examples. Now, in the next slide, we will study that the reproduction of the animals is also different. Reproduction is one of the characteristics of living things that we have studied in the second chapter. Okay. Now, some animals lay egg while some gives directly birth to the young ones. Okay. This is one of the characteristics of reproduction. Now, which animals give eggs? The hen lays egg and a chicken is hatched out of the egg. The cow gives birth to the calf. Okay. It directly gives the birth to the young one which look alike like the cow. Okay. The cow grows with the cow's body only. Means cow can give the birth to the same type of the animal. Cow cannot give the birth to the horse because it can give the birth to the young one of its own kind. Okay, this is the difference. Some animals lays egg while some animals give birth to the young ones. According to the mode of reproduction, animals are classified into oviparous, which lays egg. Now here again the animals are classified. First the animals were classified according to the vertebral column, that is vertebrates and invertebrates. Now the animals are again classified into oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous means the animals which lays the egg, and viviparous means the animals which give directly birth to their young ones. Okay, this is the difference. Oviparous means give directly birth, lays egg is called oviparous. The animals which lay eggs is called oviparous, and the animals which give direct birth to the young ones is called as viviparous. Okay. Now, according to the habitat, some animals were classified according to terrestrial and aquatic also. Again, one more classification. Terrestrial and aquatic. What does the word terrestrial means? The word terrestrial means that the animals which live on land, and the animals which live in water are called as aquatic. Terrestrial means the animals which live on land as well as water, and the animals which live in only water, they are called as aquatic plants. Okay. However, the animals like frog, salamander, toad, these live in both the places, land as well as water. So they are classified under terrestrial animals. They are classified under terrestrial animals. Means that the animals which can have the capacity of living on land as well as in water, these animals are called as terrestrial animals. These animals are called as terrestrial animals. And the animals which are living only in water, for example fishes, they are called as aquatic animals. Okay, so frog is the example of amphibious animals. Terrestrial animals means the animals which live on land. Aquatic means the animals which live on water, which live in water. And what does the amphibious animal means? Combination of both, means which can live in land as well as which can live in water. Terrestrial example, terrestrial animals example, horse, elephant, lion, tiger, these are all terrestrial example. Aquatic animal example, fish. Okay, and amphibious animals, you have the example that is frog, salamander, toad. Okay, these are the example of the amphibious animals. Now some animals are also having the features of flying in sky. So these animals were classified according to aerial mode of life, because they can fly, they have wings to fly. So these animals were classified into different classification. They are called as aerial animals. Okay, kite, eagle, crow, butterfly, and honeybees are also the example of the aerial animals. Okay. Now, what we have studied in this lesson? We have studied lot of diversities are seen in both animals as well as in plants. Diversities in animals, what we studied? We studied that the animals are classified into vertebrate animals, invertebrate animals. Even according to their reproduction, they are classified into oviparous, viviparous. Again, to their habitat, the animals are classified into terrestrial, aquatic, as well as amphibian animals and aerial animals. Okay. In plants, how we study the classification? We study the classification according to the height. That is trees, shrubs, creepers. These are all according to the height. Again, the plants were classified into bearing flowers or non-bearing flowers. That is flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Then again, the plants were classified according to the life cycle. So some plants were annual. Annual means having life cycle only of 1 year. Biennial means having the life cycle of 2 years, and perennial means having the life cycle of many years. Now every plants and animals are unique. Now all the plants and animals are different. Okay, unique means they all are having different types of different characters from each other. So we should conserve the diversity of the living world. Plants are also classified according to their height, shape, stem, period of life cycle and habitat. While the animals are classified into structure, vertebral column, method of reproduction and habitat. Okay, here we are going to end the chapter. Here we have studied about the classification and diversities of plants as well as animals. Okay.